Welcome back to Houston Happens. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and people with ADHD often face unique struggles that can contribute to mental health conditions. Dr. Craig Chepke joins us now to discuss why it's important to shine a spotlight on ADHD. Thank you so much for waking up with us, and I love that bow tie.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
So we're not talking about fashion, although you are on point, my friend. But doctor, we really want to talk about ADHD. I think a lot of times people think about it with kids, but it can affect a lot of people's lives. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's been an increase in the number of ADHD diagnoses that have been made, and some people have interpreted that as more people have ADHD than ever, and that's actually not the case. As you mentioned, it's generally thought of with children, but we've had an increase in their understanding of the science behind ADHD, and we recognize now that ADHD persists for most people from childhood to adolescence, and from adolescence to adulthood. So we're seeing more people seeking treatment for ADHD. There's still a lot of stigma about the condition, but we're starting to chip away, break down those barriers. And so the combination of better understanding of persistence into adulthood and more people seeking treatment has led to that increase in the diagnosis.
You were talking about stigma. Can you elaborate on that, and how is that affecting someone's mental health?
Yeah, very important. And this is Mental Health Awareness Month, so that's why I'm really pleased to be able to be here to shine a light on ADHD. Most people with ADHD, up to 80% of adults with ADHD, have a coexisting other psychiatric condition, like mood issues like depression, anxiety, substance use disorders, etc. And I think we need to think about ADHD as part of that overall mental health and mental wellness. And the stigma that people with ADHD face, especially as they do grow into adolescence and adulthood, is that they're lazy or disorganized or unreliable. And already a survey that was done of over 400 healthcare providers by Corium, of HCPs who treat ADHD on a regular basis, showed that 100% of those providers said that ADHD is causing a stigma in terms of their self-esteem and self-confidence. And 81% of those surveyed said it was a moderate or even severe impact on their self-esteem or self-confidence. And that builds off of that already poor self-esteem and self-confidence that many people with ADHD feel.
So how can someone manage the condition, and when should they seek help?
Well, it's important for everyone to just go and talk to a healthcare professional. It could be someone like a psychiatrist or a psychiatric nurse practitioner, or it could be a primary care provider or a pediatrician, depending on where the person is. But reach out as soon as you may have a suspicion that there could be ADHD involved, because everyone needs to have their own tailored treatment plan. For many people, that might include medication, and one medication that's worked well for many of my patients with ADHD is called Azstarys. So it's approved for people aged 6 years and up, and it's the first and only treatment to combine two different forms of medication in one capsule, which allows it to take effect quickly, have an effect controlling ADHD symptoms throughout the day, and then wear off gradually into the evening. I want to make sure everyone's aware that CNS stimulants like Azstarys have a boxed warning for a high potential of abuse, misuse, and addiction. People who take Azstarys should be monitored for serious cardiovascular or circulatory side effects, tics, and slowing of growth in children. Azstarys may cause or worsen certain psychiatric symptoms, so it's important to talk to your own healthcare provider about all the potential risks and benefits.
Well, doctor, I really appreciate you taking the time to shed light on this. I know you're helping a lot of our viewers out there. Where can everybody go for more?
So for more information on both ADHD and Azstarys, you can visit www.azstarys.com, AZSTARYS.com.